Portland Trail Blazers, Utah Jazz. Utah's been red hot. They've won 6 in a row. And just before tip, Rudy Gobert had to go to the bathroom.
Really?
So Jay Crowder came on to start. And about 12 seconds in,
funny.
Rudy Gobert was back and ready to go.
Look at his shoes. Got some toilet paper. You gotta go.
Oh, come on.
Hey, come on, Rudy.
D. Mitchell.
Tell you what, these are two interesting teams right here. I think both of them probably need to make a trade or do something spectacular if they're going to be competitive with Denver and the Warriors.
Jay Crowder.
Huh?
Portland need in your estimate?
They needed 3.
Well, I've always thought they need to break at those guards.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
The same thing with the Washington Wizards. I don't think Wall and Beal can play together. I don't think McCollum and Lillard can play together. That's just my personal opinion.
oh, wow.
Yusuf Nurkic had a 17-point third quarter
Oh, good pass.
as the Blazers rallied from a halftime deficit.
Pull up. Pull up, pull up.
Actually, this is a perfect example why I think that Lillard and McCollum can't play together. I think when they play together, they're both terrific players, but they just take turns shooting. They don't get the other guys involved.
That's Jake Layman from Seth Curry.
Play for.
And then Damian Lillard,
Tough shot.
runner for 3. Jazz not going away yet.
Oh, Euro.
Mitchell
Like them uniforms,
who had
Kenny?
36.
I like those.
But Dame Lillard had 26, and the Blazers, who had lost the previous 2 meetings to the Jazz this year, win this one on the road, 109 to 104. Utah All-Stars, Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, you think one,
No,
both?
they're not going to get both.
I said one, both. Which one?
Probably Donovan.
I would go with Donovan. I mean, he's the guy that, Gobert is great, but I don't think that they're in any position they are without Mitchell. If they at all.
Couldn't you say the same thing about Gobert?
Yeah, but I think
Well, I think I got to look at the list.
They're not going to get two.
No, he said if there was one of the other.
I know that, but I'm saying I would have to
Gobert
look
or-
at the list. 'Cause
They're not going to get 2.
Well, they're not. Well, they might not get one. I can say when we
No,
talk-
if you had to choose one.
like I say, but I have to look at the list.
Why does their team, you have to look at the other players?
Well, because there's other players coming from other teams.
What, for front court, back court now?
Yes.
Oh, you're just saying front court, backboard. You're just not looking at the best players because,
No, I think
typically now they
I
don't
think
care
that-
about size
I know
after
that.
the start.
No, but I'm saying we're not just picking from that team. We got to pick from other teams. Like I think Tobias Harris deserved to be an All-Star guy.
No, we're saying, okay, let's say Tobias makes it and all those other guys, but if you had to pick one All-Star from that team, which one would you pick?
Donovan Mitchell.
I would probably go with I would have to look at the list. What I mean by that is how many guards, how many.
Answer the question, man.
I know, but just the question.
From that team, who would
If you
you
have,
pick?
if
Which
you
guy
pick,
from that
pick a
team?
Utah Jazz All-Star and only one this year.
What I mean, Ernie, I'd have to see how many.
I know.
How many guards?
Chuck,
I'm saying.
yes.
Let's say if there was 5 guards and 5 front court people.
If I said if
now
I
there's one
Chuck,
spot
that's
left.
not the question.
Check, just
Now
let-
there's
let-
5 and 5.
Let me make my point.
I understand
If
your
I
point,
needed a guard, I would take Donovan.
No, there's 5 and
That's not
5.
the question.
There's 5 guards
'cause you can
and
have a
5
lot.
bigs.
If I needed a front court guy, I would go with.
I didn't say there were. I said there's 5 and 5 guards.
You can't
That's
box.
even.
You can't box me in.
I just boxed you in. This is
still
all
ain't answered
fantasy
the question.
basketball we're playing right now.
Got 2 guys on one team. Which one you picking? That's all. That's all we want to know.
5
Gobert
and
or
5.
Donovan
You need
Mitchell?
the 11th man.
Gobert.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Think it wasn't that difficult,
Congratulations.
but it was
Love you.
certainly worth the wait.
You
I gotta look at the list.
And just for the record,
look at
I'm
the
with you
list.
on that too. I'm with you on that.
Thank you, Ernie.
You act like this was the SAT.
Man,
Struggling over here.
that was.
But you said
Put your pencils down. Your time is up.
you struggling.
Struggling over here.
More highlights on the
I
way.
need 10 more minutes. Y'all done already?
The C's are rolling.
I do not like working.
The Thunder and the Knicks.
Tell you what, boy, that Patrick Ewing is rolling over this.
Man.
Thunder never trailed in this one.
What about Larry Johnson?
Larry Johnson, John Starks.
But the Knicks just got back from London.
Let me just tell you something about the Knicks. They suck in all countries. I don't care if they were in England, London, Paris, France.
Well, London is a city.
I said Paris. See, I said London, England.
I'm just saying.
Hey, man,
said in any country.
Don't try to act like you know Rhodes Scholar.
But I have traveled. I do have a passport. I understand.
What you call him, Chuck?
He
Rose?
got a Rhodes. All of a sudden, you're a Rhodes Scholar. Gonna try to make me look dumb on that. I'll punch you in your damn face.
It ain't that hard to make you look dumb.
Non-violent,
He's in the
Chuck.
country of Atlanta
Non-violent.
right now. You're in the country of Atlanta. Don't worry about it.
The country of Atlanta. Well, let me tell you something. I don't care what the Knicks play, they stink.
Okay.
Hopefully,
Did you use your passport coming from Phoenix?
hopefully you folks at home were able to follow that highlight along
They
on your
wasn't
own.
watching the highlight, Ernie.
With Paul George scoring 31 and the
Go to the
Knicks.
Man, they
TSA.
gotta put that on Tunes.
The Knicks losing their 9th straight home game.
I came through that.
Jeremy, put that on Tunes.
I went through the duty free and bought all my stuff.
You're like, why is it not? Why y'all still taxing me? Because you ain't leave the country.
Country of Atlanta.
Still to come, walking in Memphis for the Grizzlies and the Pelicans.
They trying to make you look dumb on that
Highlights
shit.
dumb on TV.
On time.
Make me look dumb on TV.
I just
There's gonna be some furniture moving.
I just repeat.
Really charged first 24 minutes of play in Philadelphia. Sixers and the Rockets, and it's a 15-point Philadelphia lead behind 24 from that guy, Joel Embiid. And just before they took the break, you saw Mike D'Antoni kind of heated. Did get a technical, and so they will shoot that when the second half begins. But it's 65 to 50.
Probably-
American Express halftime report. Yes, Chuck?
The police presence to the second half.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Two things you ain't never heard, Chuck. Police.
Police presence.
15-point game, and boy, it's been amazing to watch Harden on one side, watch Joel Embiid on the other. Kenny's got the lowdown on Joel Embiid, correct?
Well, it's not just Joel Embiid. It's the effect that he has, and we talked about it. You asked me when we were in the back, how do you play James Harden?
Harden, yeah.
Having a guy like Joel Embiid, and even Ben Simmons, this allows you to play that way. And the one thing that you want to do is, there's two things you have to do. You have to have a shot blocker. So what that does is when you isolate him one-on-one and you say, I'm picking him up full court, so then we're going to go out the three-point line. So Wilson Chandler meets him and makes him drive, but freeze it here. When I have a shot blocker, I have J.J. Redick slide in because Embiid can get the shot block, and now it creates less opportunities for the Rockets to shoot the three. And then the other thing that you have to have is a guy that can slow the game down. So now we freeze it here. We're not in a rush. We're not throwing it out to you here. We're not throwing it, okay, you're denying Redick. We're going to throw it inside, the ball goes in, and now we're going to take our time, and we're going to take time off the clock because we're limiting it to possessions that you have the ball, James Harden, and limiting the opportunities you have the other team. And now, again, Ben Simmons, again, creates the pace, freeze it here. He says, freeze it, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to take this avenue, which most teams say, let me try this layup on James Ennis. But Ben Simmons says, nah, we know where the advantage is. And Embiid says, I'll take my time. I'm going to take time off the clock. And now we're shooting with 10 seconds, 9, 8 on the shot clock. I'm fine, and 1. You can't guard me inside. The Rockets are not known for defense. And then lastly, again, you have to be alert on everything. You can't give up on plays. Freeze it. This guy is 1, 2, 3 steps behind Harden. And he says, no, I can't give up on the play. As long as my guy back here slows it down, I can block it. And that's the difference. Slow the game down. If you could get the Rockets to 90 possessions, James Harden's going to take 30 of them. So all of a sudden, these guys are taking 2 shots, 4 shots, 3 shots. They're not in rhythm.
24 and 7 for Embiid in the first half, also 3 blocks. The Sixers have 10 blocks in the first half, most they've had in a half in about 3 seasons, and they lead at 65 to 50. Let me hit you, and then I'll hit Shaq on James Harden.
Well, hit him first. He's soft.
Let's hit the American Express teammates as we get to James Harden. What do you say, Shaq?
Today is a day of peace, Chuck. No, I mean, look, James Harden has, made himself one of those players. I'll put him in the same category as Charles Barkley, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. When he gets going, you can't stop him. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. But right here, you know, a lot of guys say, hey, get up on him, force him right. If you do that, he has great handle. He has enough speed to go right by you. It's a great play. You're not going to stop him. You're going to get it sturdy. And right here, hand down, man down, like Moore Jackson said. You cannot be 1-2 steps off a guy, James Harden, averaging 30, 40. Right here, what he does with the dribble, he lulls you to sleep, and he pulls up in your face. And right here, you know, he even has patience. He's like, oh, I know you, Corey Brewer. This is barbecue skinless chicken right here. I'm going to work on you. Skinless chicken.
I'm happy with that if I'm Philadelphia, because the pace again, Chuck, is where I need it. And he's taking 20 shots, but nobody else on the team is taking over 5.
And that's what I said before. Let him score and shut everybody else down.
Well, I thought the key to the first half was I get mad at Embiid at times for not going down on the box. He's unguardable down there. I think sometimes he falls into this stuff that's going around the NBA where I'm a big man, I got to stand out there and shoot threes. If you see, he got a three-point player a layup like 4 or 5 times instead of shooting threes. Because every time he shoots a three against Fareed or one of those other little guys, it helps him. But on the post,
So he can get 48 points without even.
yeah.
He got 24 right now. He can get 48 without even shooting.
But what's that's going to do? That's part of making your teammates better. They're going to have to start doubling him at some point.
He didn't shoot any threes this half, though.
That's my point, Shaq. That's the only time I
For
get
a guy
mad
who shot
at him.
173 of them this season.
Think about it. He shot
Didn't take
107.
one.
That's too many for a 7'2" guy.
That with his skill in the block.
Yes.
65-50, the halftime score. Back with more on the American Express halftime report in just a sec.
Welcome to the American Express halftime report. American Express, the official card of the NBA.
Busy day around the league on MLK Day, and OKC went to the Garden in New York, never trailed. Paul George had 31, and they beat the Knicks 127-109. How about the Chicago Bulls? Won a game in 2019.
About time.
You know,
That's one of them times you buy tickets for $12 on the roof and sit on the front row.
Otto Porter of the Wiz, he had 19. The Wiz have won
You buy one of
7
them
of
Raptor
10.
tickets so you can go right down on the floor, Shaq. Nobody was at that Cleveland Bulls game.
The Magic snapped a 5-game road losing streak.
Same thing here.
same thing.
Same thing here.
That's 3 so far.
Yeah.
Commissioner was at that game, by the way.
What about this one? You
No, you have to pay to see the free You have to pay full price to see this boy play.
you might have to
Him and Luka. Smile, Luka.
31-15 for Antetokounmpo. Luka, cool hand, Luka Doncic.
Oh, hey, listen, I'm going to give
Triple
shout out to, hey, D'Angelo Russell's playing great.
He is.
He's playing great. Shout out to Sean Marks and everybody, and my man Dimwitty.
Do they need a comeback player of the year? Not most improved, but comeback player for D'Angelo.
Chex needs a barbecue restaurant. ASAP.
No, but I do have a chicken spot in Vegas called
it
Big
called?
Chicken.
Big Chicken.
Right across from Hard Rock.
Yeah, it's
You
great.
got that skinless barbecue?
No, but I'm working on
Going
it.
to add that to the menu.
Oh.
Can you
That's
get
what I'm
anything
coming
there
up.
other than chicken?
Guess what I'm coming out?
What?
A Gnarls chocolate sandwich.
Gnarls chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it?
Because if I use his name, I would have to pay him.
I want some big chicken. I want some big chicken.
Welcome back to our Atlanta studio, everybody. Later on tonight on TNT, you got the Houston Rockets in Philadelphia, which means the hottest player on the planet, James Harden, who scored 163 points over his last 3 games. The 4th largest total over a 3-game span since the NBA-ABA merger. You coached James Harden. How are you surprised by this? I mean, you know what he's capable of, but this stretch he's on right now is sort of silly.
Yeah, he's at another level right now that, you maybe envisioned he could do something like this, but not this. I mean, he's just taken over. And the most impressive thing is they're winning. He has the ball in his hands a lot. He plays bully ball when he comes downhill on you. And there's just no way. He's always looking for contact. He's got to be able to go to the line. But to put up these numbers, honestly, it really is just ridiculous.
163 points without a single assisted basket in that 3-game stretch. Now, the free throws, he gets to the free throw line more than anybody.
So no one's thrown him a pass where he's
Not
caught
a
and shot it?
single basket in those 3 games in which he has received a pass.
That might
and
be more
scored.
amazing than 163
It's
points.
unbelievable how hard, try to put that in perspective, how hard is it for a guy to create his own shot to that degree that he's literally doing it by himself?
Well, it's extremely difficult to do in the NBA. And in fact, I don't know if I ever heard of such a stat in basketball, the 163 points unassisted. That that means literally you playing by yourself, and no one else is really touching the ball or getting a chance to feel it. Now the thing that's really impressive, I watched LA play him last night or a couple of nights ago, and they jumped on his left side and they had a defensive scheme kind of working. I thought the first quarter James was a little flustered by it, but by halftime, he had figured it all out. And he's seeing different looks every single night, different schemes on how to stop his individual outbursts. And normally when teams throw a different scheme at you, your immediate response is to, okay, well, if you're going to double team me or make it difficult for me, I'm going to give it to somebody else, and they're going to kill you tonight. James's response to, oh, you're going to put 2 on me? Okay, well, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to score.
Right.
Oh, you're going to try this defensive scheme on me? Okay, well, I'm going to do this, and I'm still going to score. And that is unique in itself because most basketball players, when you try to scheme them or double team them, they're saying, okay, I'm going to give it up to John, I'm going to give it up to Mike, or I'm going to give it up to Bill. James is like, no, that ain't enough. You need to come with a little bit more because I got this thing humming.
And the one thing like not having an assisted basket means he's never out running a wing because it's just by accident if you're out running a wing ahead, I'm going to throw you the ball and you're going to lay it in or catch and shoot it. That means he's waiting for the ball, getting it in the backcourt, initiating the offense from the backcourt. Boy, that's a heavy lift.
Yeah.
I mean, can he keep it up?
I don't know. 12 40-point games over his last 19, including 3 50-point games along the way. Again, they're in Philadelphia
But
tonight.
Matt,
Jimmy Butler will be out for the 76ers.
Can we say this to the kids out there? Don't try this
at home.
This whole unassisted 163-point thing.
Don't do that.
It ain't for everybody.
No. Pass cut, move, space.
Yes, all that stuff
kind of
is good. Yeah. Lakers had the Rockets on the ropes, let them get out of that, and Houston won that game on Saturday night. Tonight, they've got the Golden State Warriors coming to town. Second look at Boogie Cousins as a Warrior. What'd you think of his debut?
I thought he looked pretty lively. I was expecting him to be a little bit more lethargic. He looked like he was a bit lighter, like he had lost a little bit of weight. And I thought he moved well. He was more, a little more spry than I thought he would be. I thought he would labor a little bit more after that injury and stuff. But the one thing that Boogie's got a high basketball IQ. He knows how to play this game.
Yeah.
Now, he may not always play the right way, and he may get mad at some other stuff, but he really knows how to play. My big concern on him in Golden State is they're not going to be able to switch a lot of stuff that they used to switch with him in it. They're just not going to put him on it. They're going to have to scheme it. Guys are going to have to get over and work. The guards guarding the ball are going to have to work harder now as Boogie kind of gets back in more of a defensive posture, not up high switching. He's going to be back just absorbing everything. So the guards are going to have to work harder.
And I think those consistent 14 to 16 points that he's going to be able to give you night in and night out. Then he may give you the outbursts of 24, 25. But those 14 to 16 that Looney was not getting, that's going to be enough cushion for Golden State to really start having more blowouts. The other thing that I was really impressed with Boogie running the floor.
Yeah.
I thought the way he ran the floor, he's been sitting back watching and he's figured out, okay, the way that I can score is to run the floor because the defense, once it's in transition, everybody's flowing out to the three-point line to guard Durant, to guard Curry or Thompson, and the middle of the lane literally is wide open. And he got a couple of easy layups just by running the floor and getting down into the paint. So
he never necessarily was explosive, but he's always been able to run well. And he certainly did that the other night, which he called one of the best days of his life. That's how excited he was to return to basketball. Warriors have won 7 in a row as they hit the floor at Staples Center tonight against the Lakers. More coming up here on Game Time, presented by Kia on this important American holiday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day.